What makes relationships fail? So many things. Basically, time. Sometimes people are alarmed when they hear me say that, but what is the relevance of relating over what period of time? 50 years, perhaps? 50 years is a good chunk of time. 60 years, 70 years. I met a couple once. They were both in their 90s, and they came to me for some trusted counsel. They said to me they had been married for 70 years, but they wanted to get divorced. And I said, why are you getting divorced after 70 years? They said, well, we had a son who lived until he was in his early 70s, and then he passed away. He was in his early 70s and passed away, and we wanted to stay together for him. So now we're in our 90s. We can tell the truth because our son's dead. We actually have been wanting to get divorced for about 60 years. They stayed together for the child, who became a septuagenarian and then passed away, a man in his 70s, and now they felt they could tell the truth. They were just tolerating each other. Tolerating each other for the sake of somebody else. When we stay in a relationship beyond the expiry date, and I know there are lots of people who are saying, but Thom, we made a promise for infinity, forever, forever. How long is forever? Is it billions of years? Well, until death, at least until death. Is that true if each of you needs to progress in a different direction at some point? There are always individual needs of people which over a period of time change. How dependent on each other are you in terms of, I want to receive and you give, and the other one saying, I want to receive, you give. And so then both are giving all the time, giving, like trying to give as much as they can, but they're hoping they're going to receive and receive. They're waiting to receive, waiting to receive. And, tolerating the passage of time. I'll tolerate it. I'll tolerate it. I'll keep on hanging in here. Maybe the great golden thing will come and all of that. And, occasionally there's joys and occasionally there's happiness, but really most of all, there's just, for the reasons of being hypnotized by the social conditioning, responding to the hypnosis of social conditioning. We're staying together because his family expects it, and we made promises in front of them, and my family expects it, and we made promises in front of them. And what will the children think if there are children on the scene? Of course, these things are the natural boundaries that prevent us from, if we just get mad at each other, running off and disappearing. We have a vested interest in coming back because there's a sort of social expectation, and we'd like to see if we can, repair things in time to meet that social expectation. But if we're staying together because of a social expectation, or staying together because, we've been tolerating each other, but not really advancing, tolerance is not the basis on which any relationship should find longevity. We had a really long relationship because we tolerated each other. This shouldn't be the way things are. If a relationship, to whatever extent a relationship has longevity, to whatever extent it has longevity, it needs to be based on both parties growing and growing and growing in self-reliance and enjoying that self-sufficiency so much that they can offer maximum to each other. If we're allowed to grow in our self-sufficiency and the other party doesn't frown about that, if we're able to grow in our self-sufficiency, then what that means is I have more to offer to you. If I see my growth of self-sufficiency being frowned upon by another, because the other wants me to stay the same and not change, it means that my relationship is based on a model of nobody evolving. And evolution is the cosmic law. If we could state what the cosmic law is in one sentence, it would be a one-word sentence with a full stop at the end. Evolve. What does evolve mean? If we break it down, it means engage in progressive change. Embrace progressive change. Enthusiastically embrace progressive change. So when each of us practices meditation twice a day, Vedic meditation, where we settle down into that least excited state and awaken our full potential, and we have that fountainhead of creative intelligence issuing forth inside of us daily, we're each of us obedient to the cosmic law. We're evolving. And then if I'm evolving and the other is evolving, and we both feel as though our offerings to each other continue to be relevant, and we're excited about seeing how that evolution shows itself, then this relationship is going to have natural longevity compared with a relationship that is based on, you're not the same person I married, or you're not the same person I agreed to be in a relationship with. You've changed. And change is illegal. Why? I need you to stay the same in order for me to get the happiness that I get out of you not changing. And, if both parties are engaged in that, or if somebody is a party to that, then one is agreeing not to change in aid of what? Having somebody else stay in a steady state and not evolving. One also agrees not to give any expression to evolution. And this is problematic because the force of evolution is, my favorite word, inexorable. Inexorable means something like uncompromising. It can't be stopped. So let's be prepared to enjoy evolution. And if a day comes when evolution demands of us that we might be better off experiencing something different to living under one roof, let's look at that proposition if the day ever comes. We naturally have a hope for longevity in a relationship, but sometimes people's rigid attachment that longevity of the relationship is all I'm interested in, and we will do anything, or I will do anything, in order to stay in the relationship and not have the relationship, quotes unquote, fail. There's such a terrible word, fail. I'm willing to continue being unhappy in order to continue relating in a way that has become obsolete, that is no longer a relevant style of relating. I'm willing to keep embracing it simply because I don't want my relationship to fail. It's a guaranteed way to waste a lifetime, or a good chunk of a lifetime. So we have to be open, but to be open, we have to be free of stress. And to be free of stress, we have to meditate twice a day, regularly, and have that deep experience. Go beyond all of these social expectations and boundaries. Your relationship is between you and with whomever you are aligned, with whomever you have an aligned mission. That's it.